fear of men.
Okay.
You're not fearing going in the parking lot when you go park your car.
Yes.
Yes,
I do.
We're not afraid of you.
You're not going to.
Stats show different. The stats show.
No, you're not.
Yes.
Instead of sameness, it's fairness.
Is the audio?
It is so immensely frustrating as a woman to still find it difficult to answer such a simple question. How are men and women different? Where is the inequality? Conservatives love to say this. They love to ask this. And it's a very good question because legally we are extraordinarily similar. Women lead in education. It's an incentive to hire a lot of women for growing companies. We can buy land, we can divorce, and we can wear whatever we want without getting fined. So where are we just so different? Men don't fear walking alone at night.
Yes.
Men do not fear getting drugged at a party.
Erroneous.
Men don't fear getting taken advantage of by a woman.
Yes.
Men don't fear their bosses and coworkers crossing an inappropriate line.
Yes.
Men don't fear.
Yes.
That's absolute bullshit.
Wrong.
That's absolute bullshit. First off, the reality is when it comes to violent crime, men are much more likely to be victims of violent crime. Assault,
By who?
robbery.
By each other.
By
ding
men.
dong. Yeah,
What?
but that's society.
Ding dong.
But that's
By
society.
men. Ding
You would have been
dong.
assaulted multiple times if you were a male for saying the things that you've said so brazenly.
Yeah, by
today.
other men. Ding dong.
That's not an argument.
That is
That's not an
Still
argument.
society.
Yeah, by men.
That's not an argument.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Well, then what is the argument?
She's saying.
No, let her state the argument. What's the argument?
The reality is that it's a completely different reality when you're a woman versus when you're a man. And that
that's great. What's the argument?
The argument is that when you're walking home at night, men are not turning over their shoulder every 2 seconds.
Yes, we are.
They're not.
From other men.
No,
yes,
you're
we
not.
are.
No, you're not.
I don't walk around Chicago late
No,
at
you're
night
not.
with just
Literally.
No, you're not. Not like women. There's a different
As somebody who has been physically assolted, yes.
multiple times. So
No,
yes.
not like
I have
women.
literally hung out with so many men that I'm like, we're just walking down the street and they're constantly like, what the fuck is
keep
this dude?
sucking men dick. They're not gonna ever respect
Girl, you're the
you.
one that
Here's
wants
the
to fuck
reality.
Andrew. Like,
I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to fuck
wanting to
Andrew.
fuck men.
I've been mugged multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been
That-
mugged?
I'm a man.
I've been
mugged
jumped.
in Detroit,
I've been
yeah.
jumped.
It was very scary.
I'm very situationally aware if I'm
You will
out
never
in public.
experience
Do
the
you
fear
agree
that
that
women
men are
have.
scary?
What?
How do you justify and reconcile these two thoughts?
You feel
the first thought is the one that you said, which is 100% responsibility is on the woman for all these things to be preventable. And the
Yes.
second thought is, wait a second, we're far more likely to be A, B, and C. When
Yeah.
you just got done telling these other girls that it was 100% preventable, which is true?
So yes, it's 100% preventable, and we have to be like cognizant of the situation at hand, which is that men are dangerous and that they strike women at crazy rates, and that women, we are constantly scared of walking through a parking lot. Men, you do not have that fear.
Whoa. Let me just.
Everyone's
I have to address the
Oh my
whole.
God, like, you guys are,
I
like,
have to
delusional.
address this whole thing about that men engage in DV at higher rates. First off, let me address that. Actually, they found that it's intra-partner violence. It's when it's non-reciprocal domestic violence, the rates are actually fairly equalized. Now, I have a question for you. How can it possibly be the case if men are these pervasive, violent thugs and bad guys, when we remove the heterosexual component of these conversations, lesbian couples are much more likely to have domestic violence incidents than gay men. So if we totally remove,
gay men don't really care. They're hedonistic.
Hold on. Okay.
So are you.
Hold on. When we remove men from the equation and we look at lesbian relationships, the rate of violence in lesbian relationships is higher than in heterosexual relationships. And among gay men, the rate of domestic violence is the lowest among all other kind of relationship dynamics. So how could it possibly be, when there's two men in the picture, that the rate of domestic violence actually nosedives?
There's nothing wrong with a man hitting a woman or a man hitting a woman
answer the
or a woman
question.
hitting a man
Oh my.
Answer the question.
in a relationship. No.
There's nothing wrong with a man hitting a woman?
No.
What about a woman?
Not if there's by circumstance it is deserved.
Andrew, I know you wanted to go in. I mean, I just.
If you don't mind, I just have kind of a set of inquiries here.
Yeah.
I'll be very brief as I can possibly be. I'd appreciate it if the gal would also be brief back so we can just get to the actual heart of the argument. So you just got done saying that it's okay for a man to smack a woman. Did I get that wrong?
That is what she said.
Okay, so then why would you say that women are victimized if it's okay for men to smack them?
By strangers.
What?
By strangers?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. When women are being afraid of walking in the street, it's not by their domestic partner, it's by strangers in the street. That's who we're
Now, if men are more likely to be assaulted than women are out in the street, which that's what the data points set up,
Right.
then why is it that women are more afraid to walk down the street than men are?
Because
the same
men
size?
men will never experience the fear that women do walking down the street. I just cannot.
You're not
believe
answering
this is,
my question.
I cannot believe this is like something that's like a
You're
shocking.
not even
thing.
answering my question. You're just
Like you really
diverting
are
again.
gonna look at me and tell me that the fear that
I'm
you
not afraid
have
of
walking
women.
down the
I'm afraid of
street-
other men in society, and our society is full of dangerous people.
What they're trying
You
to
think because I'm not afraid of you that I don't live in your reality. I'm afraid of other people.
Okay, well, women are constantly.
I get
of
afraid,
their reality.
just like you get afraid.
No, not the same.
Wait.
Okay.
You can cause a lot.
It's a
You can cause a lot more
it's
damage
so
to me.
subjective because
What?
at the end of the day, what you're saying is that these men are not afraid. They're obviously afraid. They both
they're
have
not.
admitted that they've
Here.
had history with
No,
being
they're
either
not.
mugged or jumped. Yes, they're afraid.
No, they're not.
How are you
literally
gonna
saying it.
invalidate
You
their
can't invalidate
experience?
that.
Well, if I was walking down an alley, I might be. I'm not afraid now.
Who
I
are
hope
you
you're
to
not
say
afraid
that we're
now.
not?
Because I know
Yeah.
you're not.
What are you talking
Because
about?
she's God.
I'm not a
addition to
UFC fighter.
In
I
addition
mean,
to
you should have a
that, there-
conversation with.
let me ask you a different-
Wait,
let me
let me
ask
just
you a
say one
different
thing.
question.
Let me just say one thing. You should have a conversation with Nick about all the things
Who's
that I
Nick?
do. He's my producer. About all the things I do when it comes to the security of even operating the studio and just me.
Any of us could have a gun right now, and you like.
Okay,
we-
well-
Well,
I'm
actually,
just
that brings in
like,
the
it's still
best
a fear
question
that
of all.
happens.
Yeah.
Why is it when concealed carry permits are available to both sexes that men overwhelmingly get them in comparison to women, even though women are supposedly so victimized by men? Wouldn't you think that you would see the reverse, that if women could have access to the equalizer of force because they're so often assaulted, that they would go out of their way to get those? Why do you think they don't?
a similar
Because women are not comfortable around guns because they're very scary, loud, and difficult to use.
Oh, because
Women
they
aren't
don't know how to
afraid of
use
scary
similar
Correct.
statistic
What-
is the super statistic. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, no.
so back
Hold on,
to
let
back
me
to this.
engage. Let me just.
You're saying that they're incompetent?
Yes.
I know what you were about to say.
You're saying that women are so incompetent
Yes.
that they have an equalization of force and they don't use it because they're incompetent.
Yes.
I mean,
Bro, this is insane.
so then men.
You're
who
gonna
are
look at me and tell
competent-
me that women know how to use a gun as much
Yeah,
as men
yes.
do.
Well, I'm asking you this kind of logical question. The second
I'm
part of the logical
answering.
question is to ask you, well, then men, if they're overwhelmingly getting them because they are competent, why? What is their motivation in getting a gun or
I think men have a
walking
really-
around with a concealed carry permit?
Men have a really freakish obsession with gun and holding power in their pocket.
Oh, so it's not because they can defend themselves. It's because, of course,
Sure, I'm
they
sure
just
that's
want
part of
to
it.
be powerful.
But a lot of men just
And when
like
the same
having a
option is
gun.
available to women to have the same amount of
Men
power, they don't because
love
they're
having a
incompetent. That's
gun.
your position.
Men love throwing that out and you going, I have a gun. They do.
Do you want to go back to? I mean, there's so many things that can be said about the whole. The violence thing, but I mean, if the perpetrator is a male, it doesn't.
Well, I just want to just to tie it off real quick, Brian. It'll only take a second. If you were in a threatening situation, would you call a number which would send men with guns to protect you?
She's a cop puncher in the face. Her.
Oh, yeah.
She
hates
punches cops in the face.
I
so
would
don't
rather
know.
not. I'd try not to get in that situation.
So
Yeah,
what
but
would
if you
do
were in that situation, would you dial a number where men with guns would come to protect you?
They usually exasperate the situation.
So what would you do?
But
in this
there's
situation?
there's no
so
other option.
the answer is no,
unfortunately.
you wouldn't?
So you
There's
would
there's
just-
it's a very rarely the other option. There's no other option. What other option? are we
Right, so
able to
you
have?
would, right? So you would do
What
that.
other
You would
option is
call
there?
the number.
My boyfriend's
Yeah,
mad
so
at
you
me
would
then
call the
about
number
it.
for men with guns to come and protect you because you're so incompetent you couldn't protect yourself essentially with a gun is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I don't know how competent the people who are going to be arriving are themselves.
Yeah, but you would still dial the number so that they would come protect you from other men who would be trying to assault you, right? So
The
men, while
amount
they
of
may
times
be
that I have been in
the
a
people
scenario,
who
'cause I used
perpetrate
to live in New
more
York.
assault.
I lived in
hang on,
downtown Atlanta
hang on,
for
hang on. I'm
7
almost
years.
done.
Yeah,
so
go ahead,
men
keep
who may
talking.
be the perpetrators of assault on women, like you're talking about in alleys and things like this, are also the defenders of women in alleys and things like this as well, aren't they?
That's a good point.
I lost the train of thought. I'm like some brain dead.
Can I say something?
That does not surprise me a bit.
I'm tired. It's been like 6 hours.
I think that I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with anyone right now.
Are you going to speak into the mic?
I'm sorry. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with anyone right now, but I think in general it's important to keep in mind that in this kind of podcast, it's sometimes easy to have an echo chamber where if one person is disagreeing with the rest of the people, we all knew what we were getting into. You know what I mean?
Wait, why are you...
Well, that's the whole dynamic of the podcast.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's worth acknowledging that sometimes that can happen. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it can happen in a situation like this.
I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but I mean, this whole... Are you saying that men are killed by other men, therefore that's not a problem? Is that your argument, basically?
No, men are the problem 1,000%.
Right, but if we say that men are victimized in these ways, and then you just say, yeah, by who? By other men. That's basic. You're dismissing male victims of violence. It's just, I don't know, bro. That's a fucking weird take.
No, I'm just maintaining that women's fear is different than men.
Yeah, but would a man be less dead if they were killed by a woman?
I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about women's fear of men.
Okay.
You're not fearing going in the parking lot when you go park your car.
Yes,
You're not
yes,
scared.
no,
you're not.
yes, I do.
not
you're not.
We're not afraid of you.
You're not
Stats
gonna.
show different. The stats show.
No, you're
that,
not.
Yes.
You can't.
Clearly
You're not
are
peering
because
around the
rates.
corner.
Yes,
Yes,
we
you
do.
do.
Yes, we do.
No, you're not. No,
Yes,
you're not.
we do.
No, you're not.
You're
What am I?
Okay.
You're a crazy
How-
person.
You don't.
Great
You
argument.
don't
No,
know
you're
me.
not. No, you're
That's
not.
fine.
That's
You
a great
don't
argument.
know me. You don't know Jeff.
Let's
Like,
not look at the victims because the victims is everyone. Let's look at the victimizers.
I think you're seeing it as
What?
like male female. You're thinking that like because you're a woman, you're the only one that has fears. I don't go. I bet
The
there's a
fears
band,
are not
I bet there's a
equivalent.
gang of women that might get me if I turn
No,
the corner.
there's not.
No, I'm saying I'm afraid of other bad people.
Other men.
All are afraid.
Other
Yes,
men.
yes, that's the whole point. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Cam.
Yes.
Right.
So you agree?
Well,
Yeah, that
well, it's
men
not
are.
just
We
that.
are looking
Yeah.
over our shoulder at
Not
other
like
people.
men. Not.
we should
It's
talk
not
about
the
how
same.
80% of criminals come from single mother households. So maybe it's really all
Yeah,
women's
because
fault.
men leave.
What?
Because men leave
Wait,
the
you're a
household.
formal criminal. Like, what's your family dynamic? Because you're so interested in everybody else's.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm again like I'm open book.
Okay, so what's your family dynamic?
I am born in Ukraine, and I have a
Here,
family
let's
that
go
was divorced
back
when I was young.